Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Anna and I am the project lead for our team. Today I'm going to give you an overview of your team's journey working on the Spring project, improving new student onboarding at GCW. Our team is made up of 6 members, each working at a different competency level within the 70-20 um, 10 framework. So let me introduce them. Cindy is our strategic operation lead, also at level 4, senior leader. Cindy focuses on stakeholder communication, process the communication, and coordinating the pilot testing phase of the project. Her role was essential in ensuring that all project information was clearly organized and that our communication with the student remained effective throughout. So Marcel is our project management manager at level 3. Marcel was responsible for keeping the entire team on track, coordinating daily check-ins, monitoring our sprint progress, managing the timeline, and maintain our task board. Without her, without her coordination, the team would not have moved as efficiently as it did. And Camila is our research and survey specialist at level 2. Camila designed our survey questionnaire using Google Forms, supported the research of existing UCW resources, and led our student outreach effort to collect the response we need. Omar is our data analysis specialist, also level 2 professional. Omar took the survey data that Camila collected and turned it into a meaningful findings, analyzing responses, identifying partners, and producing our top 10 onboarding challenge report. Melissa is our resource guide designer at level 2. Melissa used HTML to design our student resource guide. The main delivery is this project, making it visual, accessible, user-friendly for new UCW students. As for me, as project lead at level 4, senior leader, my responsibilities include development, the project charter, defining the project scope, facilitating the sprint planning, manage risks, coordinate stakeholder engagement, and leading our strategic decision making throughout our 3 sprints. In terms of how we organize our learning, each member complete the readings assigned for to their level as part of 10 learning. For the 20% social learning, each of develop has practical skills and share it with team. I facilitate a mentoring session on agile leadership and sprint planning. Cindy ran a workshop on stakeholder communication. Marcel taught the team how to use some platform for sprint tracking. Camila shared best practice for survey design. Omar demonstrated how to organize and data in Excel, and Melissa walked us through at HTML for visual design. All of that knowledge was then applied directly to the project in the 70% experimental learning through our deliveries, our sprint, and our collaboration as a team. This project taught us that when each person contributes according to their level and everyone is aligned around a shared goal, the results speak for themselves. So now I will transition into my teen life design journey. Thank you for listening to me.
Hi everyone. Well, my name is Melissa, and today I will share my life design journey. I will talk about what I discovered about myself, the futures I explored, the skills I developed, and the direction I want to take in the future. Next slide, please. In the discover phase, I reflected on my experiences that I had throughout my life and that have shaped my life. Some of the most important experiences were serving as a missionary in Ecuador, moving alone to the United States, immigrating to Canada with my husband, starting my MBA, and supporting my mom through a serious illness. When I look at all these experiences together, I notice the same values appear again and again: family, faith, growth, education, and service. I also identify some of my strengths like adaptability, resilience, and communication. Through my Ikigai, I realized that I enjoy helping people, learning new things, and adapting to change. This helped me define my purpose as using leadership and HR to create opportunities that help people grow. Next slide, please. In the invent phase, I explored three different futures instead of focusing on only one. The first was a traditional HR career path. The second was a project management and operations. The third was people and culture, with focusing on mentoring, learning and development, and community. To test these possibilities, I researched jobs on LinkedIn and Indeed, spoke with professors and some HR professionals that I've known, and gain experience through the ribbon projects that I've done in my courses, some volunteering, and church leadership. What I learned was very interesting. My research showed that I still need more experience, which I am currently building. My conversations show me that many successful professionals changed their direction several times before finding the right path. And the biggest surprise was from my own experience. I always thought I prefer working independently, but I discovered that I really enjoy helping people, organizing activities, and working with teams. Because of that, life design became my life design 3, the third one. That one became my preferred future. It aligns with my values and the type of work I enjoy the most. My goal is to become a people and culture manager. Next slide, please. In the delivery phase, I identify the skills I need to continue developing. I already have strong communication and administrative skills, but I still need Canadian HR experience, more knowledge of employment law, and greater confidence in coaching and leadership. To close those gaps, I created a development plan based on the 70-20-10 event that we had. 70% comes from real experience, such as the REAP projects, my church leadership, and team presentations. The 20% comes from learning from others, including my professors, my classmates, and some HR professionals. And the final 10% comes from formal learning through courses, books, and online resources. For my 20-hour challenge, I chose HTML and CSS and decided to build something practical, and that was the student guide resource. Next slide, please. This is how I came up with the UCW Student Portal Guide that I created while using HTML and CSS. I practiced for about 2 hours a day over 10 days, learning how to structure the web pages, apply styling, and use tools such as Flexbox and Grid. At the end, I recreated an entire guide from scratch compared with my original version that I tried to do in the beginning. This experience taught me that the best way to learn a new skill is by creating something new, real, and useful. Next slide, please. For the sprint team project that we did, my role was resource guide designer. I designed and coded the student guide, created the visual materials, helped format documents, and supported the final presentation. With this experience, I strengthened my communication, leadership, design, and project management skills. I was able to contribute a practical resource that can help future UCW students navigate important information more simple. Next slide, please. Looking ahead, my goal is to become a people and culture manager. I want to help people grow and succeed while maintaining a balance in my own life through family, faith, and personal well being. My next steps are to graduate from UCW, gain my first HR position in Canada, pursue an HR or learning development communication certificate, continue serving in my church and community, and keep developing my technical skills. And that includes the HTML and CSS that I started learning. All this journey helped me better understand who I am, what matters most to me, and where I want to go. And I really like that. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Professor. My name is Cindy, and this is my life design journey slides. Today, I want to share how moving to Canada changed my life and how I started building the future that I want. Okay. When I started this journal, I have to be honest with myself because moving to Canada, starting my MBA, at the same time working and adapting to a new culture was not easy. But through all this experience, I realized what is really important to me, that is my family, my personal growth, stability, and peace of mind. I also discover my biggest strengths, adaptability, responsibility, and perseverance. I think these qualities help me to keep moving forward every single day. Next slide, please. Okay. Slide 3, invent. In this model, I explore three possible futures. The first one was growing my career in a large company. Uh, the third one was starting my own business right away, but honestly, design too is one of the most that I like it. I want to finish my MBA first while I'm improving my English and gain professional experience, and later start my own business. And one thing that I learned about myself is that if one opportunity doesn't work, I always look for another one. Okay. For this model, 70, 20, 10% model, um, I think 10% of self direct learning I complete the clearly was a course where I learn about agile frameworks and how the thing can work. For my 20% of social learning, I join team meetings and also communicate updates and work closely with my team to organize this project. And 70% of experiential learning, I apply my role as that was strategic operations, led by creating a stakeholder communication plan and process documentation template. All these documents together help our team to stay organized, communicate clearly, and keep track of the project from start to finish. Um, my role. In our group project, I was the strategic operations lead. My responsibilities was communicate with my team's classmate, checking and coordinate, collecting all the feedback, and looking for improvements. And this role matched with my experience in foreign trade because in operations, I enjoy organizing tasks and always making sure that everything is working well together. A future. Looking ahead, I want to become a leader who keeps learning and helps other people grow. My next steps is to finish my MBA, gain professional experience in Canada, continue improving my professional skills, and also I would like to one day start my own business in international trade, like consulting. And I believe that every experience is help me to get closer to this goal. Next slide. And that's it for my part. I think that living in Canada has taught me that I am stronger and more adaptable than I thought. And I think every challenge helped me to grow both personality and professionality. And thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Melissa and Cindy. So we continue with my part. Like I said before, my name is Anna. I am architect, originally from Ecuador, currently living in Vancouver and pursuing my MBA at ECW. What I am about to share is not just a presentation, it's the story of how I intentionally started designing the life, the leader I want to become. So the discover phase started by my mapping my journey, the highs and the lows. Some of the my biggest highs were funding my own architecture company, designing the pursuit an MBA in a second language, leading construction projects remotely from Canada. But I also faces real low pressures from clients when projects went off schedule, communication conflicts with my remote team, and the emotional way of being far from my family. So from those experiences, I built my IKEA GAI. I love leading projects and helping things grow. I am good at problem solving, decision making, and leadership under pressure. What the world needs is responsible leaders who communicate well and transfer people, space, and lives. And I can be paid for exactly that. Project management, team leadership, construction coordination. That intersection is my purpose, and this phase helped me see it clearly for the first time. In the invent phase, sorry, I explored three possible futures. Design, I was a strategic extension of my current path, gain Canadian experience, get my PMP certification, and launch my own construction company. In the design tool was an alternative where has a PM at a major company while running a side business, but my chosen design was number three, strong enough for every dream. It was the one that integrate everything that matters to me, my career, my health, my relationships, and my personal growth. So what surprised me the most during this phase was realizing that success doesn't mean choosing just one path. I can be a strong leader, buy my own company, take care of my health, and have a family. That is the life that I am designing intentionally. So in the delivery phase was about turning all of that self awareness into a real action plan. My life goal is to become a successful project management in Canada while building my own architecture and construction company and maintaining a balanced personal and professional life. I identify three priorities skills I need to develop. First, project management. I am closing this gap through certification and real project experience like the sprints, like this sprint project. Second, networking because here in Canada opportunities come through connection, and I am committing to expanding my professional network every day. So for the third is multicultural leadership. I am using to leading in Ecuador, but leading diverse teams here requires a different kind of adaptability, and I am actively working on that. So my personal commitment is simple. I am willing to step out of my comfort zone every single day to become the leader that I want to be. So to close, for the workshop 70-20-10 framework structure everything. So for the 10% was myself there reading and agile leadership. For the 20% was the mentorization I facilitate with my team. And for the 17% was leading the sprint project as a co-lead, creating the project charter, managing the risk, and guiding the team through three sprints. Looking ahead in the next 5 years, I plan to get my PMP certification, validate my architecture degree in Canada, launch my own company, and become a mentor for future leaders. So, as I always remind myself, if you are clear about your goal, fall in love with the process because nothing compares to the satisfaction of having achieved it. So, thank you so much for listening and for to be here.
Okay, so hello, Professor. Hello, everyone. Now I'm going to start talking about my life journal. I'm Camila, and I'm going to start with the discover phase. So during the discover phase, I reflected on the experience that shaped who I am today. And some of the most important experience were my parents' divorce when I was younger, and being diagnosed with anxiety and becoming a vet, like the whole process after graduation, and also taking leadership positions back in Brazil and here in Canada, and also the whole moving to Canada and starting the MBA program. So now looking at those experiences, I noticed that both positive and negative situations helped me to grow and to build who I am today. And through this reflection, I identified four strengths that appeared through my journey that you can see here in this slide. So resilience, adaptability, emotional support, positive leadership, and grow a positive leadership. Sorry. And also one thing that I discovered while I was doing the journal in the beginning, I was a little bit like suspicious about the need of doing this, but during the process, I learned a lot of things about myself, and I noticed that I usually grow when I step outside my comfort zone. And moving to Canada, I think, is the biggest example of that because after I was really afraid of leaving my career in Brazil. I was a vet in Brazil, veterinarian in Brazil, and studying another language. I was really scared about it and starting again, like from zero in a new country. However, this experience helped me a lot to see that I'm capable of doing whatever I want to do. And I also realized that helping others, supporting people during difficult situations, helping people that are arriving now in Canada and creating this positive environment in my workplace and even in my personal life is something that I really like. And it's aligned to the type of leader I want to be in the future. And going to the invent phase, I explored during this phase, I explored different possibilities for my future, and my preferred future combines several aspects that are important in my life. So I want to become a veterinary practice manager, so I can align my background of veterinarian from Brazil, my knowledge in this area, like the technical knowledge, with the administrative knowledge that I'm acquiring now during the MBA process. That's why I put the certified veterinary practice manager in the slide because it's something that I want to achieve. It's my goal. And personally, I want to continue building my life here in Canada, aligning the work with my life. So I want to create a healthy work-life balance, take care of my health, spending quality time with my husband, my friends, and also separating time to spend with my family from Brazil as well. And one important lesson from this phase is that my life is not only around career achievements. So in the beginning, I used to focus a lot only in career and performance, and I've put so too much pressure on myself. But now through this process, I realized that relationship, health, and personal well-being are really important and they need to be aligned with the career as well. From the deliver phase, I focus on identifying skills gaps and developing new competencies through the project we did, the 70-20-10 workshop learning experience. And one of the skills I learned that was related to our group project was the Microsoft Forms. So I learned how to create surveys to collect feedback and also organize the information that I obtained through the survey. So I used the tutorial of the Microsoft, and also I watched some videos to learn how to use Microsoft Forms as well. And I created a survey, as you can see the screenshot. More information about the survey you're going to deliver in the workshop, but I created a survey with some questions about students' experience with the My UCW portal, because our main focus is to create a resource guide, like a guideline to students based on what they need. So that's why we use the survey, because we want our project to be customer based. So it needs to be aligned with their answers and their needs. And I also developed several competencies. I learned during the workshop, I could learn more about agile thinking, about teamwork, continuous feedback, continuous learning. And one thing that I really liked about the workshop is that actually learning is not only in we can learn not only in the classroom, we can learn from our friends, our colleagues, our coworkers. And also agile means being able to adapt to the needs. We don't need to have an idea and be stuck in that idea until the end of the project. We can adjust and we can adapt fast depending on their customer needs, depending on our goals, if it changes, depending on external aspects as well. So that's what I learned, and I really liked it. This experience also helped me become more confident about working in teams, and reinforced, as I said, the importance of adaptability and continuous improvement. And for the last slides about future leadership direction. So as I said, my long-term goal is to become a veterinary practice manager. I want to lead teams in my area, which is the veterinary field industry. And I want to, first, I want to complete my MBA and continue to develop my leadership and management skills. I want to do to get a certificate of veterinary practice manager. So I need to do continuing education after I finish MBA. I need to do some courses as well. And I also want to continue developing competencies through this experience, like communication, teamwork, adaptability, because it's really important in real life, not only in academic performance, but real life as well. So just a conclusion, like overall, doing this life design journal in the beginning, I was really scared about it. I thought it was not important, but it really helped me to understand who I am and align my values, my principles, my goals with the skills I need to develop to become who I want to be in the future. And it also gave me a clear direction for both my personal and professional development. Thank you.
My name is Marcel, and I'm very pleased to present to you my Discover Life journal. Starting with the Discover phase, I discovered that I can do hard things. The first hard thing that I have been doing is moving to Canada with 33 years old with my husband and my dog. After 3 months living in Canada, my dad passed away, so I have to deal, and I'm still dealing with my grief. And operations management was a very good surprise that I discovered during this phase. So from the invent phase, I did an analysis of three scenarios. The first one was being just a mom and a wife. Unfortunately, on the beginning of the year, I have a miscarriage, so I was a little confused if I want to be a mom or not. The second scenario was if I want to still working at PetSmart. I work at PetSmart since I arrived, and I started as a bather, and now I'm a saloon leader. And the third scenario, it's a new career, start from zero, being a supply chain or operations manager in the future. So because of these three scenarios, I choose to pursue the supply chain role. So for that, I select to be a L3 on our workshop. So I think that this level will help me to build a more solid uh, career in supply chain and operations. So my future leadership direction, it's going to be definitely on supply chain and operations management. And I really like working with people. I like working with process. So that's why this option is going to be my path. So the steps that I need to go for the supply chain field, it's starting by 10% of myself learning. I have been already doing some courses online. This one I did for our workshop. It's the blending project management methods. So from this learning, I learned the difference of agile method and waterfall method. From the 20% of social learning, I am more engaged with my teams in the other courses. And also, I start being more engaged to the LinkedIn platform. So the 20% also I use as a tool to do some networking. Related to the 70% of experimental learning, I want to highlight the workshop that we just finished. We did the guide for new students related to the UCW portal. Because the bright space, we know that professors can help and there's a lot of information, but for the MyUCW portal, we don't have that much. And for my next step, it's continuing to learn more about supply chain and how can I be more involved on this field. So thank you so much, Professor. Have a good one.
Hi everyone, my name is Amar, and today I'm going to talk about my life design journey and also how I work in for our spring project as a data analysis specialist. Okay, so the discover phase was basically the first time I actually thought about who I am and what I want. The biggest thing that I learned here is about myself is that I need to feel free to build things. When I moved from Mexico to Vancouver, wasn't just it wasn't just a move. It was like a restart for my life because I used to have a burger business before and I didn't work out, but honestly, I learned more from that than from anything else. And the values that I found here are discipline, resilience, and growth. And my goal is to build a business around fitness and health because that's the life that I want. In the invent phase, I got to design different ideas for my future. And the favorite that I found is becoming a business owner in a health and fitness field, combining running, gym, training, and content creation. I also learned that I work best when I have autonomy and that content creation is actually a real business tool, not just a hobby. And all this phase helped me stop saying someday and actually start making a plan. For the delivery phase is where everything got real. It helped me to identify a clear skills gap like data analysis, and I had never used Excel to analyze data before. So this is something that I learned. I learned it watching some tutorial practice and then apply it to our real survey data. Took the 7 responses on team collected, organized everything, and produced the survey results report to the top 10 challenge and the data analysis summary. And my analysis became the foundations for the student resource guide. Next. Okay, so here is what the data said. This data it was used for our project, and this is what I learned also like a new skill. It shows that 86% of students needed help just to use the portal, 100% flagged tuition and payments as the hardest section. Also, average of satisfaction was 2.9 out of 5, and 71% said a step-by-step guide will help them a lot, which is exactly what our team will create. Next, please. And for the 70-20-10 model, for the 20%, I completed the Agile consulting resources on my own. For the 20%, I have learned basic data analysis in Excel and shared also with the team. I have searched a lot of guides and also watched some videos to can like understand better what I already know and also to can learn more. And for 70%, I apply everything to real data and produce like real deliveries. I did also an Excel just to practice this and also the derivable for the project. And next. And okay, so just to conclude, learning this new skill will help me a lot for this project and also for leadership and some leadership contest and also like will help me to improve for the future as well. And for my journal, the conclusion is that I want to build a business in health and fitness, not just own one, but actually lead it. And the skills I develop here are going to help me get there and improve on my life. Thank you.
Hello, Professor. We are Team 3, members Marcel, Camila, Omar, Melissa, Ana Belén, and Cindy. And today I would like to share with you what we learned through our health journal. And we each this process individually, but when we put everything together, we found our reflections were very similar. So today I'm going to talk about what we discovered as a group. Okay, let's start with the four sections. When we compare our journals, the first thing that we see was that all of us are facing difficult moments. Things like moving a new country alone, starting a business that didn't work, or studying an MBA in a second language. And we all came to the same conclusion. Those moments were not obstacles, they were actually what made us who we are today. We just couldn't see at that time, and that actually connects to what we learn about ourselves. Moving to insights, then we talk about what we learn. One biggest thing was we grow most when we do something that is not easy for us. For example, working on the leaders project pushes our comfort zone, and that is where we learned the most. We also learned that being a leader is not just telling people what to do. It is about listening, have good communication, and helping others moving forward. But of course, looking back, there are things we couldn't have done differently. Then we have hindsight. When we ask ourselves what we do different, we all say something similar too. Many of us waste a lot of energy just thinking about doubting ourselves, about our English, thinking also and we were enough for this MBA program. And we wish we had trust ourselves more from the beginning. And as a team, we would have defined our roles early because that will have made everything flow better. So with all that in mind, we also talk about what comes next. That is foresight. And finally, each of us has different goals. Some want to work in HR, others want to start a business, others manage a veterinary practice or work consulting, but we all agree one thing. We want to build our future with intention. We want to keep learning by doing, and we want to lead in a way that makes the people around us feel valued. Uh, okay, move to conclusion. To finish, we want to share, Professor, that this journal shows us something very important.
our personal story is not separate from who we are as leaders, because things that we live, the challenge that we have, the moments that we feel hard, all these are part of our leadership. And now we know that we already have the tools, just we need this space to see them. And thanks again, Professor, for joining us in this path.